we have learned so far applied in concept. So again, don't be thrown off. I haven't cleaned up my layers as you guys have now this organized method in way of layers and layers colors. All right, but right now moving away from this formatting of the line weights and components, now I'd like to talk more about layout in terms of preparing for printing. Okay, before that though, I would like to talk more a little bit about this idea of drawings. Right, see this idea that as you draw, right, your elevations, you either draw the elevation on a side, right? Let's say now the ground is vertically right here, or right with some rectangle right here. Anything inside of this rectangle, right, will be part of my building section. Anything outside of it will not be part of that building section. Okay, now that was the building section. Let's look at how these relate, right? Building elevations. I want to copy the building elevation, which is the west elevation, and the west elevation drawing over here. Okay, so west, and this is also very important, right? This is actually something that might seem a little bit counterintuitive, okay, but this is also really important. You guys, they will make you look good wherever you go, okay, because it's one of the first things that I like. Wait a second, what? So so what's the name of this elevation? It's the west, right? West elevation. Okay, so let me see now. Grab my pen over here. So and let me see if this is still recording, because you know me. Yes, but I have a feeling that I have skipped some stuff. Okay. Let me see. Okay, so this is actually really important as well. So that's north. We have south over here, east, right, and west. Let's see if I can lower this. So far, so good? Okay, good. Now, if this drawing is my west elevation, right, which of these four faces would that be? All right. This one, that one? That would be my east. Okay. that is the question. That is exactly the question, right? And that's why it's important that we cover this, right? So, okay. So which way is north? To the left, right? So we have established that north is this way, right? That's our north, right? So this way would be our what? East, right? Down or to our right would be south. Put a little north right here, and downward for us would be west. Okay, and again, what's the name of this drawing over here? West elevation. Okay, so now which one is it, right? So is it this face right here? So what face is this then? This would be the east elevation. Okay, Victor doesn't believe.
It's because he's talking about like you're looking at you're on the east side, but you're looking west.
Yeah.
So if you stand on the west side, you look the other way and you look
drawing, the wall that's farthest north, like west on the floor, is like one of the main features of that elevation.
Oh, okay. So Manny right now, he's guiding himself by visual cues, which is absolutely what you should be doing, right? I mean, if you start putting this building together, meaning that again, if I graph the building elevation right here, rotate it, right, let's say 90 degrees, and I start playing, right, because which one does it fit, right? I mean, does it fit over here? Does it fit over here, right? So I start doing this, right? Oops. All right, let's see. So if I start doing 90 degrees, right? And seeing, okay, does it fit right here? Okay, so that starts looking good right there. I rotate at another degrees right there, and maybe move it over here, right? And see, it's like, oh no, I think that's kind of short. So that's definitely what you should be doing. But in terms of reasoning this by the concept, oops, right? Let's keep talking about this arrows right here. Right? I mean the this, and to answer the question, right, or the easiest way to understand this, and what I would, what I can advise you. Gotta take off. Okay, come back. Okay, sounds good, Italy. Right. The easiest way, right, to feel, well, for me at least, that I can share with you is picture, right, actually your coordinates inside of the building, right? Try, imagine bringing your north arrow symbol into the house, right? And then from there, again, we understand that that's north, that's south, that's east, and that's west. Okay, so actually, if this is our west elevation, right, this is our west elevation, except that, remember, we're looking at it from the outside. Okay, it's not that I'm standing on the west looking east, therefore this is my east. That's wrong. My east elevation is this one right here, right? Because it falls on the east quadrant of my coordinates. Yeah? Yeah. So Victor, you see it?
So it's not like you're standing somewhere, it's kind of like you're just detailing where it's at.
Correct. That's a perfect way of putting it. It's not where you're looking at, it's where it's placed. And that wall, or this walls right here, are actually placed on our west end. That is beautifully put, my friend. Couldn't say it better. Okay, and now let's go ahead and check it though. Right? Let's go ahead and verify that information. Okay, so let me go get my cursor back. Okay, and again, if you start reading the building, you start kind of putting this together, you kind of understand that, right? I mean, because you see it's like, hey, these look like windows, right? So it must be either this view or this view over here. Okay, and then from lengths you can start putting this together, but I want you guys to actually understand the concept. Okay, so let's say again that I do a line, right, or a set of lines actually, that are going to define the width of the building. Okay, notice that I'm not going to include this other wall right there because it's just an exterior wall, right? But I'm looking more into the volume or interior space of the building. Okay, so if I grab this drawing right here, move it right from that end to this end right here, all right, we get this right there. Okay, and again, if I move that right there, right, so it lies right exactly on it. So it's like microscopic, the difference. Right, so I have that line, and it was still 1 second right there, Julio. Let me just finish drawing this line over here. We bring it from this wall over here. Let's see, could it be? Okay, right, almost. Right, and again, based on the scaling factor, right, you can start seeing how things match. Julio, question?
Since we're trying to get so close, why not just type move and then select the point and make it perpendicular?
What was that? I'm sorry.
Type move on selected line, and then move it perpendicularly to the.
So move it, right, from there to there. Yeah. With the other way too. Okay. Yeah. No. I mean, just to really get there, right? And I mean, again, it depends how much you zoom, right? I mean, how accurate we're going for this. Like this one, for example, right? This line actually could be drawn a little bit to the left, right? But again, definitely, right? I mean, you guys should go with all the exactitude, or as precise as you can, right? Definitely, you guys be as precise as you can. Right now, right here in the middle, on the, ahora sí que, in the middle of the, right here, I'm on the spot, doing things quickly. I'm not as accurate as you guys are being. But what's more important for me right now to show you guys is how the building elevation, and in this case, our floor plan, relate. Okay, and again, let's say that let's say with this windows right here, I start projecting them this way. All right, hold on Shift. All right, and again, you start seeing how certain things are a little bit off, but we are drawing off of the. Let's see, let's do these other ones right here. You're tracing exactly from the drawing, so that shouldn't be a problem, right? So it's more of a scale, but it is something that it's coming to our attention, so we should definitely be aware of that. Okay, so that's our west, right? West elevation right here, relationship to our plan. Okay, you guys are not projecting lines and drawing your elevation, right? I mean, you guys already know how the elevation and section work because they're given to you right here. In essence, actually, your exercise is just a tracing exercise. But if you were to actually, right, build the elevation or section from scratch, and by scratch I mean but just the floor plan, this would be the way that you would actually do it, by projecting lines. But even that, I mean, now with Revit and other softwares like that, I mean, this kind of knowledge is gonna fade away because elevations are generated for you. And I feel like some of you guys know Revit. Raise some hand. You've used it, right? I mean, those are generated for you once you have a 3D model, right? So, but it's important in concept to learn where those are coming from. Okay, so that is the construction of them. Right, now let's do one more, I guess, pass in terms of printing. Right. Again, what scale are we doing for this? What? 1/8. Huh? Well, right. Is it Jacob's house? Even. So what scale is it? 1/8. Maybe this should be the pink. 1/8. Here he comes, right? It's like, oh, okay, so Munoz now wants, right? He wants this drawing at a scale. Okay, so let me check, right? Let me see. How do I do that? Well, we talked about the destination, right? Well, first it's a PDF. He's also, right, specifying a sheet size, right? 11 by 17. Okay, so let's see. Right, so okay, so I have my tabloid right there. Now I already set the scale, right? But we come in here and click 1/8. Let's say, I think last time we left off at fit to scale to fit, right? Something like that. Okay, so now I come in here, select 1/8. If yours look kind of if it's not correctly framed, go back to set, move, and again remember this kind of lighter box that we get around it would be the sheet size. Okay, so I can place this. Okay, right, so Victor's saying, okay, wait a second, but if this guy, right, wants floor plan, section, and elevation, right, and he's specifying the sheet size and the scale, this is not going to fit, right? So what does that mean? That we're going to have multiple sheets. Okay, that's what we have right there, the 11 by 17s, right? Because the because again, once you start, and actually this was just a question that I got yesterday, right, from a student, a student that is not in any of my classes, right, in any of my classes. This student comes to me and she just asks me, is like, I need to print this. I think it was a historic building. I can't remember which one. It was a 132nd on an 8.5 by 11. No, on a letter size, which is 8.5 by 11. And we fixed the scale. We set the page, and we looked at it, right, and it was cropped. And I told her, it's kind of like doing this, look. It was more like this. Right? And hers looks like that. It's like, well, look, you have three options. You can print it like that and have a bunch of information of the building missing. Now, you have other two options that are much better. What are those? What two things can we change? Okay, so I can change the size of the page in which this is going to be printed, number one, or what else can I change? The window, not really the window, right? Because I mean, let's say, okay, so I don't know exactly what Robert means by the window, right? But if I move the window, right, well, I mean, it's still not going to fit, right? But okay, thank you, Julio, right? So two things that we can change if one of our drawings is not fitting properly. So again, three technically, but the third one or that option, don't use it. Right? I mean, don't show a build like this unless it's okay with someone, but most 90% of the time it won't be. But you have two options, okay? You can either change the scale, right? Make it a smaller scale and it will fit, or right, you can leave the scale as is and you can change the paper size. Right? Let's say like that one, for example. And then we can do kind of like what Robert was saying. It's like, okay, so what if I now move my window? Right? Would that work? And it's like, no, not really. Right? Gina? Okay, so I think what Gina's saying is like, well, can you do this? Right? That? Kind of like that? And make this bigger? Is that what you're saying? Yes, right? So Gina's saying, well, can you just make this box, I mean, bigger or smaller? Well, the answer is yes, but what are you changing? The paper size, right? You're changing your paper size, right? So now this, right, it would be wrong, right? So again, you're messing with the proportions of that sheet, okay? So in theory, yes, you could do that, but you will not get at the end an 11 by 17, which is the size of paper that we're looking for. But I'm glad that you're actually seeing that you can actually resize that size. And if scale is not relevant, you can do it. I mean, do it. But once a scale is given to us, we're kind of tight, right? We're kind of constrained. If someone says like, hey, I need this at a 1/4 inch, we're like, okay, so that even means I need to print it really large. This needs to be multiple sheets, right? But that kind of like locks us a little bit. Just not bad. It's just how it is. Okay, so I'm gonna come back right here. So bring it 11 by 17. We talked about 1/8, right? So bring that right there. Again, I'm cropping some of my stuff right here. So I want to go back to set. Make sure that you move it, right? Click on move right here, and then place it right here wherever best frames the picture right there. Okay, I'm gonna do a right click, but I'm not going to print. Okay, I'm gonna close this. Why? So that I can format it like I did for my previous drawing. Right? What do I mean? Well, we're missing information, right? Such as the title, the name of the drawing, and I'm also going to copy our north arrow. Okay, so watch me. It's simple. So I'm going to select that, right? Hold down Shift to select all of those components right there. Pretty much everything but the drawing, right? So I can, yes, Gina? This one right here? Thank you. Okay, so select that right there, and that right there, right? I can do Control C for copy. I can come back to this other drawing right here, and I can paste it, right? Using Control V as in Victor, right? Control V, and notice that it gave me this right here. Okay, so I want to print this, right? Let's see which one. The first thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to get rid of replace my north arrow. I have this nice one drawn already with all my properties right there, so I'm just going to copy it. Right, place it over here. Don't forget, right? I mean, this is north. In this case, it's to the left, so I can rotate it holding Shift. Right, bring down north right there. Don't forget to also bring with you your text. Okay, and this guy right there can go away. Now the placement of your north arrow, for the most part, typically you want it on the lower corner lower right corner of the drawing. Sometimes we need to change this, but we'll see. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to my print, see how things are looking. Okay. So we need a drawing title, which we said we want it on the bottom left corner, and we need a sheet title, right, which let's say we'll have on it on the top left corner. Okay, so I'm going to close this. Right, so what happens if I now copy? I'm not sure where I left off. Spacebar. Right, so I have my text right there, so I can print. Right, we have it right there. It's looking good, but again, cropping a lot of information right there. So I can see, right, that this is too big. So I can scale it. Right, say from there to there, then maybe do that. Right, and again by graphic or reference cues. Let's see, print. So I want to bring it somewhere over here to the left of this line over here. Okay, and my lines might be, I haven't set up my line weights, so don't be thrown off by that. And let's say I bring that right there, and this right here, copy it. Okay, right, and bring it over here. Right. You can scale it. Now in this case, right, I'm giving you guys or asking you guys for a scale, right? So make sure that you guys delete that graphical scale. Right? Again, this graphical scale is for a reference that was provided to us, and not actually how in first place it allowed us to draw this, right? But now in here in scale, what should we have? Huh? Correct, right? One-eighth of an inch equals 1 foot, right? And we write that right there. We can scale this here. Okay. And I'm going to scale this also a little bit. See how this is looking. Okay. So we have this would be your drawing title right here, and this would be the sheet title. And again, sometimes we get confused, right? Because I ask you guys for titles. Most of the time you get both, right? I mean, you want a sheet title and a drawing title. Okay. There's that. Something that I would try to do, right? I'm just looking at this. See, is like, okay, so if I move the text over here up, right, could I just get this and maybe move my frame a little bit so that I don't have this line right there crossing through the text? Yeah, I would try that. Right, so that means moving this text a little bit, just enough right there. Of course, we need to update our information right here. Jacob's house. Right. And actually, by doing that, we don't actually need to worry about that. The text fitting, right? Why? Because, well, the title gets smaller. Right. Now it fits right there, and it's not a problem if it's cutting through it. We have our title or our label right there, north arrow, and we can print. Right, we can hit print. Jacob's house. Let's call this floor plan. I'm not gonna use spacebar so I don't pause the video. So just do that. Oops, but I did delete that. There we go. Floor plan. There you go. Jacob's house floor plan. Do that. Now let's work on this elevation and section. Okay, so we can copy, right, the title and the sheet title and the drawing title. Okay, so you can bring that right here. Okay, I need a copy of the, because now each drawing should have its own label, right? So I bring that right there, because one's going to be it's the name of this drawing right here. Okay, right. Yes, and which elevation? West elevation, right? Why is it doing that? Okay, don't forget to update the information right here. This would be now, who is this? All right. Okay, so make sure that you update that. This doesn't have to be now all the way up there. This could come back down. This could come back down over here. Oops. Without leaving stuff behind. Okay. Titles. It's a rule they wanna align. So again, don't do this for right now. Just try again showing them a line, meaning this, right? I mean, in this case, the west elevation is a little bit to the right, so that if I draw a line, right, they don't match. But good craft, right, would be that actually these guys, right, align there, right, like that. How far usually, and this depends heavily on the drawing, even right, I mean, you want to align this right here with this and right here, which again is your ground. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Okay, and that's just the reality. Again, there's some buildings, right, that are really long on one elevation and really short on another one. Okay? So there's kind of like when you look at coffee box. Yes, the coffee box downtown. Yep. So that sometimes can really throw off our layouts, right? I mean, you have this really well, odd proportions, and we have to shuffle things around so that it looks, it looks as best as possible on our page. Okay, so again, don't forget, this is now our what is it, east-west section, guys. And again, you guys are much more advanced on your guys' plan drawing, but we talked about section cuts. Make sure that you include, right, your section cut where on your floor plan. Okay, so that means, oops, showing it on this drawing right here. Okay, the same way that we drew our north arrow, we can draw our section cuts, and you'll see, right? I mean, you'll see that that's a good question, right? I mean, how do I know where, right? Where does it cut? I just want to show you guys. There's different ways of representing this. This flags right there. This is kind of like what we looked at the drawings previous class for the drawings for this building. Most typically, this is the one that I'm most familiar with using. This one right here, this kind of a circle with the direction. So again, pick one, draw it. How do I know where, right? Deduction, right? I mean, it's just a matter of deducting where this could be. For this one, I'm telling you, it's there. That's where you're cutting, right? And again, you can start seeing, right? Like, okay, so that's brick, so that means I'm catching part of the outside of the building. This line right there right, represents that there's some sort of glass right there. So I'm cutting actually through a wall that has a very, very tall piece of glass right here, right? On this other end, also, right, it's showing that there's glass and there's glass, okay? So that happens right here. And again, that's the beauty of this exercise, that is training our eyes in how to read these. Again, a proper drawing, you will never have to deduct, right? I mean, that's not a good, that would not be a good practice, right? It's like, hey, I'm going to show you a section, you contractor or whoever's reading this, figure it out, right? Figure out where the section is being cut. No, not at all, right? I mean, here, these are design drawings. This is from a book. They're not really showing us where the section is cut. I actually even think it's because of copyright. I'm not really sure. I don't think what was the big, I'm not really sure. But just, to answer the question, is just about reading. Kind of like when you're learning how to read text. Right now we're learning how to read architectural drawings. Okay, so that's actually a good question. So west elevation, this west or east-west section. Actually, I would add that right there. East-west section. Make sure that your scale is correct. Right there, Jacob's house. Another point that I like to make. Elevations, building elevations and building sections do not have a north arrow. So do not include one. Okay, this happens again a lot, right? We get this, right? So I'm gonna do what not to do. All right, so we get that right there, and we get this, right? But that's not how it works, right? For multiple reasons. But to begin with, right? I mean, remember, elevations and sections are vertically, right? So if you're telling me the north, now you're telling me the north is up, right? Or on this different plane, right? Left, right, or south, right? So if you start thinking about it, right, including a north arrow on the elevations or sections, it's not accurate. Okay, so don't include them, right? So north arrows are specifically for plan drawings. And notice that I did not say floor plans, because they do exist on what other types of plans are there? No. Well, there are. Yes, you're right. I was like, what, mechanical? Yeah, mechanical plan, sure, right? What else? Landscape plan, civil plan. Sarah? Landscape, right? So all of those. So if it's a plan, it does have a north arrow, right? Civil, landscape, site plan, right? You guys are going to be working with site plans a lot. So if it's a site plan, any kind of plan, sure. North arrows, good. Elevation, sections, anything else, no arrow. Okay, we get that a lot. So let's see how this is working, right? So print. Everything should be fine right there, except that we set our window right here. So we move it. Right, and we get that right there. Okay, now not quite done right there. I think I missed it on the previous video right there, or previous lecture. Remember, this is not let's go ahead and change it just for the record. And that's why actually I had the Unity temple already googled up, so that we can see its location. Where is it located, guys? It's right there on your handout. Okay. Madison, Wisconsin. And you guys are gonna need to help me with how do you abbreviate Wisconsin? Is that W and I? All right. Let's see. Let's actually look at the. In case anyone is wondering, right, where is this coming from? In this case, right, and again, this is from all of these drawings are from a really great book, 20 Key Buildings of the 20th Century. It's called. Again, Unity Temple, you'll see the exterior and interior view of it. Title. Wait. Oh, wait, that's Unity Temple. No one says anything. And you guys don't have the Jacob's house, right? No one says anything.
Like how you guys just let me go. Like how you guys just like, wait, what do you think? We don't have the one for the
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That you guys don't have the one for Jacob's, but it's on this book right here. But once we look it up, you can see that. Let me see. Okay. So yeah, sorry for the confusion, guys. I'm jumping ahead. We're not working Unity Temple yet. We're working with Jacob's. So for this one, we do have to look it up right here. Okay. Madison, Wisconsin, right there. So we can change that right there. Right. So let's actually flip this right here. Let's put Mr. Right first, then the location. Right. So get that right there. Right. Okay. Madison. Oops. Okay. Do that. Then let's go ahead and copy, right? I can copy that text box right there, and we can bring our title here, or class and student name, right? So I'm just gonna write right here, student and class info, and we can write justified, close, do that, bring it over here, we type print one more time, and it's looking like that. Now again, we're just going over a very even kind of primitive way of just getting stuff out of Rhino. There's much more well, to begin with, faster ways of doing this, but also more in a more clean way, right? Creating your paper space and actually, a different approach to this that, unfortunately we cannot get into. But again, this will definitely allow you to create, pages or boards like the ones right behind you, where you need to just get stuff out, right? In terms of a quick drawing for one of your classes, with, of course, titles and labels, and whatever you're trying to represent right there. Later on, we'll work more specifically on how to, make this look nicer, right, and more control, so that these titles are, specific location. This right here comes, where it should be. Right now, it's a little bit, messy, to say the least. Okay, and not so efficient. But I mean, again, just to start, this is enough. Okay, so we can print. Right now, this is not a floor plan anymore, right? This is an elevation and section. So save it. Hopefully you have a better organization system that I have right here. And so we have our Jacob's house floor plan. Jacob's house, west elevation, and east-west section. Okay. Let's see, right? Plan, building section, building elevation, 8-inch scale. Okay, 11 by 17. So how many was that? 2. Right? Two building, 2 sheets. I'm sorry, 2 sheets that we need for that. Now, right, because I was jumping ahead, because I was so excited to get there. All right. So again, you know that this one is the Tuesday, right? That just the same way that I produced that one. You guys should have already the floor plan and the building section. You guys are not doing the elevation. Yeah, good so far for the Jacob's house. Now the next one will be the Unity Temple, the one that I jump in there, right? So for that one, just begin right now tracing your floor plan, section, and elevation. And again, make sure that you first convert the PDF. And by that I mean this drawing's right here. Right? So Unity Temple. Now let's look at this. Right now we have two floor plans. Okay, we have our first floor, and then our ground plan right here, as well as section and west elevation. Okay, so, and again, based on the reading, you'll start, again, basically, in this case, for example, in terms of where that section cut, I'm not, let you guys give it a shot, see if you can figure out where that section is being cut. But again, what is the relationship that we should start looking in terms of, where is a section cut and its relationship to the floor plan? Well, let's look at what it's cutting, right? I mean, walls, for example, right? Here we have that, or what it's representing. Okay, so here, for example, we have this wall right there, right? This right here. You see my little cursor hand right there? So you have that piece right there. Okay, so if I go right on this, and again, the first floor is on top of the ground floor. Okay, have your ground first and then second. So you'll see that, hey, yeah, that's actually a good question, huh? Yeah, so whenever you have multiple floors, the section cut should happen on the same position regardless of what floor you're on. That's actually an excellent question. Okay, yeah, don't show a section on the located. Don't show the placement of the section cut on one place on one plan and then on a different location on a different plan. Yeah, no. Okay, so floor plans, building section, building elevation. Now also right here the question is scale. All right, so I give you guys the scale. Let's see how that, well, no, actually I haven't given you guys the scale, right? Because we need to look into, does it fit, right? This is a bigger building. Yeah, we went from what type of building was Jacob's? House. Right? We're working on a house, and now we're working with a temple. Right? I guess church. You want to call it that way? Place of worship, like that. Much better set. Place of worship. Okay. So anyway, for right now, just hang tight on the. For right now, only thing I need you guys to start tracing this. Okay. Well, first finish Jacob's house. Get your sheets out. Again, we're gonna collect those next class and begin tracing the Unity Temple. Additionally, make sure that you keep up with the laps. How is that going? All right. Smile works, Victor. Smile works. Okay. All right, guys. Well, I think questions actually before we. Robert, yes. The temple, yes, always. Yeah, the first thing, actually, even before you scale it, what do you want to set first? The units, correct. Right, set our units. And again, guys, I'll try to upload this as soon as possible. Apologize for the choppiness. I need to find a better software, but it'll be there. It'll be there.